this is Teacher Alice with you. We are live Google Hangout here. We have a group of passionate teachers from Singapore. And here, that's why at Yishun, Singapore. And we are here to discuss the secret how to do well for your music exam, for your ABRSM exam. We are at the 5th session of this discussion sessions, how to do well for your oral. Let's have a quick recap on that. Here we are to talk about smart learning for your ABRSM exam. And the first thing we talked about, remember, this is your exam pieces. That's right. And next we also share about how you do well for your scales and arpeggios. And we also talked about how you keep yourself be a good reader for your sight reading. And lastly, on the oral test. Right, we want to share a little bit about what are the things that some students might be curious. What are the things that you actually do in your oral? I think namely for this exam, you will be doing a lot of singing, right? Because oral, you have the lessons, you have to sing, you have to clap, and you're going to listen to all of these features. So for the early step in the oral training, for singing, basically you will do a lot of echo singing, you do a lot of tone matching, and you simply start from the range of about three notes, then eventually you stretch up to about 5 notes, then also you move on up to 1 octave. So these are very simple training on that. So as for the identifying time, you're required to clap as you listen to the music, and then you identify whether it's in 2 times, whether it's 3 times, or in 4 times. Maybe in the simple time or the compound time. So and lastly, on the sections, also you have to listen to the music features. So what are the things that you listen to? You listen to the characters, right? You listen to the dynamic, whether it's loud or soft. Then you listen to the tonality, whether it's written in a major or minor key, whether it's happy, lively, or it's sad. Then also talk about the tonal gradations. Do you hear there's a crescendo or the diminuendo? Does the music get louder or get softer? And where is it? Then also you listen to the tempo change. Does the music get slower, get faster? And what is the articulation? Is the music moving smoothly, or play with detached, or mixtures of both and others? As you move on to the higher level, like intermediate level, the sight singing test is being included, whereby the student will giving 5 notes on the score, and you need to sing from the sight. Right, and maybe you reach out a higher level, then you'll be given a 6th note. I think this is a very important skill that the student should master, because it helps you to visualize your score, and you can actually think of the tune in your head even before that you start playing them or singing them. So this is a very important skill. So I encourage students to learn the so-far system from Kodai. It means you do do, re, mi, fa, sol. Let's say you do in this key, and when the key change to another higher key, do, re, mi, fa, sol. So you change your key accordingly, so you know which note you need to pitch, and help you to for your pitching. This is how to pitch your note. This is very important. I think the last part of this oral test, I think is the most important part, is like most interesting part, is like listen to the features, right? And at the higher level here, you will listen to the part playing for the grade 6 to grade 8. And not only listen to the single part, but this time you're given the 2 parts or 3 parts, and you will need to sing either the higher part or the lower part. So this to train up your ears. Do not just listen to a single melody, but hand in hand, simultaneously, the many layers, and you can actually pick and choose either this layer, the top layer, or the bottom layer. You see that? So it makes you to be a very good listener. Right, on top of it, you also have to listen to the cadences, you listen to chords, then you identify the chords, and also the interesting that you sing with accompaniment. So you have to keep going and sing with the accompaniment. Not only that, you listen to the modulations, because the music won't be all the time the same, and it can be changed other key, and you must be able to identify the change of key. And lastly, as I say, the most interesting part is the feature, right? At the higher level, not just listen to the dynamics or the tone gradation, but you listen to the deeper understanding with the texture. So you know whether it's homophonic texture, polyphonic texture. You listen to the melody, how the structures of the melody, whether you hear any repetition, any sequences. Listen to the tonality, not just in the major and minor, then you know what type of scales is being used. Is there a blue scales? Is that what type of scales is being used there? All right, is it the harmonics minor scales or the melodic minor scales? You listen to the dynamic, not just the loud and soft. And how do you fix into different contexts? How do you know that it is this loudness is used in which period? In the Baroque, classical, romantic, or the modern period? You learn about the character, you listen to the character. Not only that, you listen to the structure, you listen to the form. On the bigger view, you listen to the form, whether it's got first section or second section. Then you narrow down into the phrase and the structures. What is the phrase structures? Is it an 8 bars balanced phrase or the irregular phrase? Yeah, then you listen to the mood, then the character. So this eventually help you to identify, be able to identify who is the composer and which period is likely being composed. As you could see that I think the whole thing, the whole setting is to equip you to be a better in musicianship and a better musicians, right? Now, I understand there are some problems. Okay, I myself, I find that with my years of teachings, more than 20 years of teachings, I realized that mainly there are the two major problems which I want to address here. First is that the students or even the young teachers are unaware of the syllabus. They thought singing is just simply singing and they don't know that they have to understand the context. So I would encourage teacher and the student look into each and every session. What are the things they require for the exam? Next is that the insufficient time spent in the preparation. I noticed one of the mistakes that usually teachers do is that you test the students. You test the student for the oral tests. You don't train them out. You simply take the oral book and then say, okay, stand there in the corner. Okay, I will play this chord. You start answering and ask them the answer, and then you sometimes they say, why you cannot hear that? Can you hear that? You see, I play this and you cannot hear that. You see that? So I feel that teacher should train them up. You should break down into a small component. Then you start into training them. All right. So as you see that, we have the singing and the clapping. So teachers should break down all these components and the music features and the characteristics. The teachers should actually work on all this to teach them. Okay, don't test them. So you come to the reality that you realize very few children can't sing or can't clap or follow the pulse because all of them are born musical. You see that we have to believe that all children have this potential and our duty is to help them to be better. And we have to include the oral training in the regular part of our daily practice. So this is very important for us. Right? So is there any problem that you encounter besides what I mentioned just now?
What would happen during exam?
Wow, this is a very good question because sometimes the student, they practice a lot but they do not know what actually will be happening in the exam, right? Do you know that each of the questions here, actually they have the rubrics? That means you have to, the examiner will actually deliver each test following a set of the spoken words and the instruction, which we call the rubric. I quote it for an example. All right, for example, now echo singing. The examiner will say something like this. I would like you to sing these 3 phrases as echo. And here is the key chord. Then you start playing. Dun, all right, then he will play to you the first note. And here is the starting note. Then after that, he will say, I will count you in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then he start playing. You see, this is the rubric and this is the instruction. So you just get the student practice with the instruction because it's all set. Right? Either clapping of the time also. The examiner will give a set of rubrics also. So I think teachers have to understand the rubrics. And the good things are all this is actually with the piano. The oral test is all played on the piano. And the examiner are very kind, I would say very kind, because the examiner will prompt you if eventually you make a mistake. Let's say you do on your singing, you make a mistake, the examiner will prompt you and play the correct note. Isn't that good? Good, right? So is there any other questions?
How are the oral tests being marked?
Well, this is another very good question. So what is the full marks for the exam for oral? What is the full mark?
18.
Very good. This is 18, right? We all hope that we can get 18 full mark high score, right? Correct. Yes, you are right. 18. So let's look at how they score 18 first. If you have very quick and accurate answer, very observant, you get 18. Let's say you You answer it with good responses. Good responses, I mean, someone says something, you quickly respond, but you maybe make a small mistake. Maybe you get 15 to 17. Now, what if you are not so good, maybe, but you get half of it correct, half of it correct, and you show that you're aware of the syllabus and you're aware of what you asked, but you make half correct and you think half you make wrong, maybe how to put it? Right. Would you like to know why students fail the exam? Why? Yeah, this is what you fail the exam, 9 to 11. Right? This is you below pass, when you are slow. How to slow it at? I would say student, when the examiner plays something, they'll look at the examiner like this. Without answering, without even questioning, Then when the examiner play again, they will still. Isn't that funny? Alright. Or alternatively, your response very slow. For example, when they play something, they'll say, let me think about it. I think it's duper. No. I think it's duper. No, it's duper. You see that they are very slow. It's like they're not aware of what they are doing. Right. Now I have a question. You think that it's possible for the student to get 0? Right, possible. If the student don't even open the mouth and say anything. That means if the examiner throughout that maybe the 5 minutes of the oral test, you just look at it. When the examiner plays something, what is time you look at it? And when the examiner asks you to clap, you also look at the examiner. When the examiner asks you to sing, you also look at the examiner like that. Yes, this is what you will get. Right. So is there any other questions? Any other questions?
Yes, there are some students that are really, really young and very, very shy who really can't sing. How should I train them?
Right. I would say I would do a lot of pre-training exercise. I will take it for like this singing. I will look into the syllabus very, very closely. I quote for the example for the echo singing for the very young grades. There's only 3 notes that you need to sing, right? 3 phrases, they sing as echo, and they sing very, very short phrases, and the examiner gives the time. So I will just give them on a lot of singing of just the 3 notes. Let's say I quote, for example, do, re, mi. There's only 3 notes, do, re, mi. Then I will sing, I ask the students sing, I said, sing along with me. Do, re, mi. Do, re, mi. Mi, re, do. Mi, do. You just play around with the do, re, mi, and mi, re, do. Then you start from C key, then you change to other key. All right, just make the student comfortable with singing with just the 3 notes. Just the 3 notes. All right. So I hope with all this pre-training exercises will help the student to build the confidence so they'll open their mouth. And sometimes the young student need a lot of encouragement. And sometimes the teacher need to sing along with them first. The teacher sing along very loud and tell them that they can do it. Also, sometimes they need a lot of encouragement to open their mouth. All right? I hope that will answer your questions.
How about for higher grade students that can't hear, for example, the cadence? So how should I train them?
Well, I think cadence is really challenging because that will also, that is only appear in the question of the grade 6, grade 7, and 8. First of all, I think before thinking on how to make them listen to it, I will make them understand. I will really make them understand. Like for example, I will write on a piece of paper, I'll write on a manuscript book, I will tell them what makes the cadence. Why there are different types of cadences. Like you have a perfect cadence, imperfect cadence, what are the functions of that, what is the purpose of using different type of cadence. Then I will show them also what is the different type of cadence, like chord 1 to chord 5, chord 5 to chord 1, then I will let them listen to the different effect. After listening to the effect, I will start change key also. I'll just tell me the feeling of that. Then I will look into the technical thing. I will work into just a single note. If they change key, for example, you use a so far training system, do, re, mi, fa, so fa, mi, re, do, then we go to la, you actually end with a submedian. So likely, if you end with a minor chord, it is a relative minor, right? So if you end with a fa, you will end with a subdominant, right? And all this. So you will work on that so the student understand. But not only the single note, but the student have to listen to the character of the sound also, whether the chord is a major and minor. So again, we talk about the pre-training, right? So this is a pre-training. So you have to do a lot of pre-training to listen to one chord itself, whether it's major or minor. listen to the bass note itself, what note they actually record in. So I think with this, the students slowly will be able to visualize what they hear. Right? And as I say, it takes lots of practice. It's not just testing them, and maybe it takes about 6 months of practice. Yeah? Good. Right? Any other questions?
How about in exam? If they really can't hear, is it okay for them to ask repeat the questions or advice?
Well, you would ask me, I think yes, by all means, just ask. Just say, excuse me, sir, would you please play it one more time? Or excuse me, ma'am, could you repeat the questions? I don't understand what you said just now. But you see, all examiners are human beings. Communications in oral is either you sing it or you use a word to communicate the examiner, right? So if it's one small question you don't understand, I think it's absolutely okay. No problem at all, just ask. But you have to avoid it. What should you avoid? You shouldn't be asking the examiner, can you repeat again? Would you repeat this question? I cannot hear. And the fourth section also, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Would you one more time? Or even say, my teacher never asked me this question before. Can you please repeat? My teacher never teach me. You know, like these are the things that you should not ask and communicate in this way because you want to show that you're confident. But let's say it's out of the 5 or 6 questions the examiner asks, there's one question that you don't understand. Just ask, very friendly. I think they're more than willing to help you. Right? Now, I come across students like this, like they really, really can't hear. During exam, they can't hear. All right? And even the examiner has answered repeat the question and they still can't hear. So what should they do? I would tell the candidates, don't waste the examiner time. Since you can't hear, even the examiner play 2 times, you also can't hear. Play 5 times, you also cannot hear, right? So why don't you just pick an answer and just get the examiner? At least you have another 50% chance, right? Right. That's easy. Whether it's a perfect cadence or imperfect cadence, if you cannot hear, you just say, well, I think if you hear it's a full close, you say, it's a perfect cadence. Nothing wrong. Right. Then just move on. And most importantly, don't waste the examiner time. Now, we also come across students really cannot hear. Not that because it's not, they are not equipped with the training, but because they are born, physically, they are born deaf. We have this group of students, they are special needs, they are autistic students. So what happened to this group of students if they really cannot hear because they are born deaf? You see that? So is there a solution for that? Yes. You can actually email. You can email to the exam board first. And because for deaf or the hearing impaired student, you can respond to the alternative text. But you only can request at the time of entry. That means when you enroll for your exam, you request, I am a special needs kid. And I need, then you submit with your document from your doctors and all that and say that you are special needs. You see that? Then they will have you for the alternative test. So here, remember, write to them under abrsm.org special needs. So, how many of you want to do well in your exam? Right. And you want to know more about us? This is Teacher Alice from MusiKinder School. We are from Singapore. Want to know more about us? Click below and to join us for our weekly Google Hangout. Bye.
Bye.